everyone. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to bring you the NBA on 2K Sports. So for the Spurs, their last game, a win against Chicago.
And with the type of defense they played that day, they were able to cause a lot of mistakes, Clark.
And you know exactly what that means. I mean, causing a lot of mistakes means cashing in on those turnovers.
Look at Cleveland's starting group. The two stars, LeBron and Love, at the 3 and the 4. Kyrie Irving is out there with Smith. And it's Mozgov in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Kyrie Irving 3 seasons ago was the only rookie in NBA history to shoot as well as he did from the three-pointers, the field, and the free throw line. There's no question about it. He is an elite shooter.
Parker. A second chance effort. Rebound by Smith. And so it's Cleveland with it. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
And I think everybody who was at that game would agree it was their defense that really won it for them.
Yeah, they were all over the place, flying all over the court on D. The kind of hustle that pays off big time for you.
Pass to Splitter. Duncan high post. Lets it go from 11, and he gets it to go.
And Irving, super skilled, one of the league's best shooters, and he'd make a strong case for being the league's most elusive ball handler as well. Seems to get by his man pretty much at will.
Now, here is Irving. 8 points his last outing. Here's Love. San Antonio with the rebound. Parker left side. Shot, high post, and he gets it to go. Parker's got his first points of the night. And Irving super quick with the ball in his hands. And when he gets to the basket, a master using spin and English to convert.
And Kevin, you know, the story is that growing up, the hoop in his yard had a big part of the backboard broken off on the right side, so he had to learn that spin in English in order to bank it in.
I like that story.
Necessity is the mother of creation.
Here's Parker, following the basket by LeBron James. Outside, Green. Back to Duncan. There's the dish to Leonard. Shot clock at 6. Right side, Leonard. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. For Cleveland, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Smith with it. He's picked up by Parker. The kick out to Irving. That's in there. Love with the assist. Irving's got 5 now.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Parker kicks to Green. Duncan with a screen on Smith. Back to Parker. Goes up on the wing. And he overshot that one, missing. Cleveland leading by 3. Inside. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. That's 7 points for Kyrie Irving. And here comes Tony Parker. A 32-point game for him in the win against Chicago.
Greg Popovich with 15 straight 50-win seasons as head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. What a remarkable streak of success. And I don't really think folks understand what that level of consistency embodies. He's widely regarded as the best head coach in the NBA, and for good reason. He's the full package as a head coach.
Cavaliers have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. First quarter play and just over 3.5 minutes in. And that's out of bounds. Cleveland will retain possession. Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
Job one for them tonight, Kevin, getting back quickly on the defensive end of the floor. The real challenge when facing this team is limiting their transition points. And that, in no uncertain terms, is what he told his players going into this one. Guys?
Thank you, Doris.
Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark.
Now, here's Green. An 11-point game for him in the win against Chicago.
He was a factor defensively as well. He blocked 2 shots. I thought he changed several others.
Now here's Parker. It's a 5-point game. And that one's good. Parker's got his second bucket tonight.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. Let's take this chance to look at the teams that have been the league's most efficient passers this past month. The Cavaliers 5th,
The last few weeks have shown these guys that being patient with your passing can earn you some easy looks and baskets. Excellent teamwork. The more you do it, the more you're rewarded, and it becomes contagious.
The Cavaliers leading by 3. Irving with the ball. 7 points in the game. Mozgov kicks to James. It's hauled in by Duncan.
That's kind of a shocker. The defense was there, but it wasn't right in his face. Kind of out of character for him to miss those.
Duncan left side. There's the screen. Clock at 6. And here's Green outside. Can't get it to go. And Cleveland the other way now. It's LeBron with the drive. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Tim Duncan picks one up.
You know, LeBron has an interesting tradition during the playoffs. He turns his cell phone off, stops watching sports television, and instead he watches movies and reads books. That sounds like a good life lesson for all of us.
And for LeBron, that tradition started a handful of seasons ago, Clark. They'll even catch him reading books before games.
Well, you know, I've heard it said that all readers aren't leaders, but all leaders read. And LeBron James, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, autobiographies of Malcolm X, Jerry West, and even his friend Jay-Z, he has dedicated himself to expanding his knowledge. That's a good sign.
As you did. You are voracious.
I love to read. I've always loved to read.
And he's good on the second.
Well, Kevin Durant, last season's MVP, but LeBron James has won 4 in the last 6 seasons. He's one of only 5 players to ever win that many, and you can bet he'd love to win a few more.
Parker's shot is off.
That's the kind of defense required when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were right in his face.
LeBron outside. It's stolen by Duncan. And Parker, here we go. And stolen by LeBron. Parker against Irving. LeBron James on the wing. Ron right side. Great D that time from Green. And you remember LeBron James came within 1 vote of being the league's first ever unanimous MVP back in 2013.
Yeah, he got 120 out of 121 votes. And you know the question was, who did not vote for him? That's a conversation for another time. One sports writer did choose Carmelo Anthony. He said he didn't expect to be the only one. Now he lives in it.
The writer does.
That's exactly right. Good.
So it's the Cavaliers now after the basket by San Antonio. Shot from 12. Another miss by James. Spurs have gone 5 of 12 from the field since the opening tip. Here's Green. Right now averaging 11 points a game. Duncan, the pass to Parker. That's good, and so Duncan with the assist. And that's now 6 points for Tony Parker.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They sure are. That's 3 straight buckets that have come off of assists.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Boris Diaw's checked in for Duncan. Bellinelli comes in for Leonard. Otto Ginobili's checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. Cleveland also making some changes. Iman Shumpert has come in for J.R. Smith. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Irving.
You know, guys, I would call that methodical but explosive. You know, he waits for the opportunity and then boom, right to the rack.
San Antonio trailing here. Now Mills. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Chicago. Ginobili dishes to Mills. From the arc. And good on the basket. Hook it. Mills has got his first 3 points of the game.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
And here is Ginobili. And he really did play well against Chicago in that last game. Mills in the corner. From the baseline. And another basket for San Antonio.
Another lead change. How many of these are we going to have?
I don't know, Steve, but the momentum of this game has certainly swung like a...
LeBron outside, and they double up James. And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. Love kicks to Dellavedova. That falls. Great assist by Love. Dellavedova's got himself on the board with 3 there. Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, good one here, guys. This is going to be fun to watch. 2 evenly matched teams, both teams playing hard.
Ginobili kicks to Diaw. Cavaliers with the rebound. Last time they met in Cleveland.
Yeah, last time out against this club, it was a loss that I'm sure is still fresh in their minds. Such a close game, and they were in major foul trouble by the end. They have to feel like it was one that really got away from them.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And taking a look at the Cavaliers' performance here, Clark, Steve, what have they been doing or not doing?
Solid first quarter for this club. They came out strong, and they put together some nice momentum here.
Steve, I like the looks they've gotten on offense. A lot of good ones.
And so it's San Antonio with it, trailing by 2. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one.
Well, and you know the fans out in Toronto hoping for a win in that game.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Cleveland, LeBron is the 3 with Thompson at the 4. Amon Shumpert is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. And it's Mozgov in at the 5, roaming the paint. And Diaw kicks to Bellinelli. Mozgov with the block. And James with the basket on the assist by Thompson. And that's 11 points for LeBron.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Diaw, the screen. Bellinelli passes to Mills. Just 5 on the clock. Here's the teardrop. The Cavaliers leading by 4.
Timofey Mozgov, 7'1", a shot blocker and rebounder. Still pretty foul prone defensively, but he has really become an interior presence.
And he gets it to go.
He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
And Mills kicks to Bellinelli. The feed to Splitter. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. A floater. Mozgov grabs the board. Mozgov's got his 3rd rebound tonight. And Mozgov offensively can get you some nice second chance buckets.
Yeah, and I like the fact, Kevin, that he's a decent roll man in the pick and roll, and he just knocked down the 3-pointer on occasion. So, nice combination for that big guy.
Ginobili with the ball. Now guarded by Shumpert. And Bellinelli kicks to Ginobili. Manu Ginobili in the final year of his 2-year contract extension with the Spurs team, and some speculate that he may retire after this season.
Yeah, fantastic career for Ginobili. You know what I think, Kevin? I think Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, and Popovich should all just walk away right now. Just, go away together, and this has nothing to do with me coaching the Warriors. Nothing to do with me at all. This is about them. They've earned this. Walk away now, guys. Just leave.
I hear some admiration, but I also hear some sarcasm in there, too, from my partner. And Ginobili certainly will go down in history as one of the all-time great 6 men, alongside the likes of John Havlicek, of Kevin McHale earlier in his career. I'm throwing out some old-school names for you young bucks.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Duncan, he's checked in for Diaw. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And Tony Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. Irving drives in. Out to Shumpert. Passes to Smith. He dishes it to Thompson. And Splitter pulls it down.
And Manu, a 2-time All-Star, won 3 NBA titles with the Spurs. An outstanding career for a player drafted 57 back in 1999.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, gentlemen, Tim Duncan's such a huge part of this Spurs team on and off the court. As Coach Pop put it, he's a consummate pro. He takes great pride in fulfilling his responsibility to his teammates. He feels it very strongly. He sets the tone for the whole team. He's done it from the beginning, and people fall in line. Kevin, what a luxury.
A great player and great leader. Thanks, Doris. The Cavaliers have gone 1 for 2 on the night so far from the line. No good on that one. The Spurs making a switch here. Green's checked in. That's off as well, so he misses both.
What is insane about the Spurs and how successful they are as a franchise is that in their entire franchise history, they've only missed the playoffs 4 times. That is absolutely remarkable.
Parker against Irving. It's intercepted. And now Irving pushing it up. No one back to stop him. Throws down the breakaway jam.
Now that is a quick bucket. Pretty good in transition.
That's right. That's exactly right. He loves when he gets the chance to get out and run. That's when he's at his best.
And with the Spurs in the playoffs, you can't even begin to think about a postseason without the Spurs being involved. Only 4 absences since 1976. That's incredible.
Of course, with the Spurs, the last time they missed the playoffs, they drafted perhaps one of the best power forwards of all time in Tim Duncan.
Well, you know, he's a part of why they haven't missed the playoffs since. But the organization has run really well from top to bottom. And they deserve nothing but the success they've had since their inception because of that.
And the first one at the line is good.
Tony could well be the best point guard penetrator in the game. I mean, he's great at finding a seam and getting the ball up and off glass before the shot blocker can recover. And once the ball hits the glass and comes off, it's a no-touch zone for the defender.
And Tony Parker drops them both.
And Parker with the quickness to win that race to the rim, and then his great touch, able to use English or you know, just the spin on the ball to drop it in. Even when the defense gets there early, it seems like Parker's able to use that teardrop.
And it's Smith missing.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
Dishes to Leonard. Splitter kicks to Duncan. Little turnaround. And yes, sir, that one drops. Duncan's got his second basket. And for Parker now coming into his 30s, the question, how will his game, so based on speed, Clark, and elusiveness, how will it age?
Well, you know, I think that's a fair question. His game is not as much athleticism as it is those attributes of speed and quickness and elusiveness. I think the elusiveness can hang around for a while. The speed will go. But the fact he's improved as a jump shooter, I think he will continue to allow him to be pretty good at getting to the rim.
And this is a good time to show you some of the league's most disruptive defenders over the past month. The steal leaders at the small forward. Kawhi Leonard on top.
Well, with the kind of defense he plays, he really gives his team someone to lean on at that end of the floor.
Yeah, he takes a lot of pressure off the big guys because he can thwart penetration just with his active hands. I mean, his feet are good, but it's the active hands that dissuade passes inside.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. Now, here is Irving. He's got 9. Down low, trying to find Thompson. He gets it to him.
Boy, taking it hard to the rack for the big throwdown.
And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Yeah, good call, Kevin. That was really the key to the play.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
Well, it was only recently that the Cavs fans were worried that they'd lose Kyrie Irving in free agency, much like they'd lost LeBron. Now, not only has LeBron returned, but the Cavs have locked up Irving to a long-term contract.
Here's Parker. He's got 10. Outside Leonard. Pass to Splitter. 6 on the shot clock. Parker outside. And again, it's San Antonio with a three. And remember last season, a fan who ran out in the court was wearing a shirt saying, "Kyrie, don't go." The fans were definitely, Clark, getting nervous.
And what a terrific turnaround for this franchise. I mean, last season struggling with chemistry concerns. Help has now arrived in a big way. Moved around this city, and the team has taken a complete 180. The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
No, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, I mean, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
San Antonio making a switch here. Baines is checked in. The Cavaliers shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
And as a team, they're shooting about 75% on the year.
You know, he didn't get to the line in that entire first quarter. But right now, he's showing some aggressiveness out there.
Parker with it. Duncan outside. Kicks it to Baines. Back to Duncan. Mozgov grabs the board. Mozgov's got his 4th rebound in this one. And it's slammed in by Smith.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Yeah, what a beautiful connection on that play.
Parker kicks to Baines. Feeds it to Leonard. Duncan down low. He's covered by Thompson. Duncan with another miss. Right side, Irving. Shumpert gets a wide open look. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 3 assists in the game. Parker kicks to Green. A minute 50 left in the first half of basketball. Parker drives in. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. And here's Cleveland. It's been 8 unanswered points for him. Now the pass to Shumpert. Pass to Mozgov. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Green inside. It's up against Thompson. Good on that shot. And with that, the Cavalier lead is cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Green. Here's Irving. He's got 9. Here's Mozgov. Rebound San Antonio. Leonard's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Into Tim Duncan. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
And that's a nice finish for the big fella there. I mean, he used his length very well under the basket.
There may be more athletic players around the league, but Steve, not many bigger ones.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Kevin, I'd like to see him even take advantage of that size more often on the offensive end and be more aggressive.
They get it again. Baines laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Now just a 2-point Cavalier lead.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
Irving, good.
That's just a case of 2 teammates working perfectly together. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Green kicks to Duncan. To the inside. And Leonard gets it to go on the assist from Duncan. Leonard's got his 2nd basket of the game.
I'd like to know what his percentage is from that range. I mean, it's got to be sky high.
Irving drives in. A stupendous finish in traffic. Irving's got 13.
Well, he wasn't phased at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he preferred to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Close game as we wrap up the 2nd quarter. Cavaliers lead by 4. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.